one came back. But who knows? What we do know is that we did
Stranger things
play
have happened.
we did play Balloon Fight, and we have thoughts. So, as we were saying, Ice Climber had the simultaneous multiplayer co-op mode, and it was very much a co-op mode for Ice Climber's sake. I mean, you could compete from points, but you're kind of working together to get to the top of the mountain. Whereas Balloon Fight is very much both. You are competing to get to you're competing and you're cooperating to go through the levels. But you could also attack your opponent as well, which is quite mean. But you could it's an option if you really are just playing it competitively. It controls really well. It's you have to get used to it because it's about doing timing your hops correctly at the right time to make sure you're moving the balloon freak well. But once you figure it out, I think it actually controls very well. It's very unique controlling. A lot of people may not feel it like right away, but if you stick with it, I think it's very fun. And it is another game where you can play simultaneously with a friend and compete to get the high score in the different levels or work together to complete all the levels to begin with. And then you have your fun balloon trip mode where you can just like one person or you could just swap between like we were doing to try to get to as far as you can and get as many balloons as possible. So I quite like it. But how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I thought it was very, very good. Yeah, I thought it held up well.
It did.
Definitely the floaty mechanic isn't the easiest, but it's nowhere near as hard as the jumping mechanic in Ice Climber if we're comparing the two.
I would 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
100%.
But yeah, I thought it held up quite well, and it's definitely, like you said, one of those games you can just kind of rinse and repeat and practice the same bits and know that you're getting,
Hmm.
well, hope that you're getting like better at certain areas, especially on that balloon trip.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and yeah, I would definitely be able to play that for a good, I don't know, a good while.
I
Before I
think
got bored, anyway.
yeah, no, I think in that regard it holds up well as a game that is currently available on your
Mhm.
Nintendo Switch Online for free. That you could just pop on and either play with a friend for the balloon fight mode or just by yourself to just get as far as you can the balloon trip mode. I think it's very good. And one distinction that I want to give to this game that Ice Climber didn't, that we mentioned once or twice during our play of it, is that yeah, this game did in a way receive a modern remake with the Nintendo Land thing, with its balloon trip mode specifically, which is a much better
Mhm.
version of the balloon trip mode. It's not as hard, but it's much longer, and of course, it's a modern version that you could play if you have a Wii U. And it's actually very good.
Mhm.
This game also, by the way, has a sequel. It has a sequel on the Game Boy
That's it.
called
See, I didn't know that. I did not know that.
it does, yeah. Like Ice Climber got nothing, but this game got a sequel for the Game Boy called Balloon Kid, which is a lot like this game, but you play, I guess, as the daughter of the balloon fighter. She's like a little girl with like pigtails, and she has like her own two balloons. But unlike Balloon Fight, which is very much an arcade type game where you're just trying to get through as many levels without dying, Balloon Kid has levels, like actual levels that you must complete. And
Okay.
it's very much in the vein of Balloon Trip, where you're trying to like dodge obstacles to reach the end of the goal. But of course, because it is a longer game, it's the level. It's not as hard as Balloon Trip. I mean, probably the later levels probably get as hard as Balloon Trip, but the other ones are very much meant for you to try to get through as many levels as possible. So it exists, but I don't think
Mhm.
many people have played it. I don't think many people have heard of it. So there was a
No, I just.
there was also that Club Nintendo exclusive award, Tingle's balloon fight that they did as well, where you're just playing as Tingle his two balloons to avoid. I don't think there's any Zelda characters in that game besides Tingle himself. I think you very much are just playing balloon fight with Tingle. So, but it's there
Mhm.
for those who managed to get it during that time.
Those
But
tingle fanatics, they're out there.
the Tingle fanatics, they exist. They very much do exist.
I just looked at a few screenshots from Balloon Kid, and it does sort of look familiar, actually. Now
I
I'm looking at it.
I played a bit of it on the 3DS because it is available on the 3DS Virtual Console. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's fine. It's fine. I'm just happy that Balloon Fight got something because again, I think it does deserve it. Um, I don't know how much more that they would do a Balloon Fight at this point. Like Ice Climber, I think needs something, but Balloon Fight, I mean, it got a Game Boy sequel, a DS spin-off with Tingle, and that Balloon Trip
Mhm.
game. I don't know how much more they would do with this, but I think the base game that you have right there is fine. I think for a game that you do have, if you have the Switch Online, it's a perfectly good game to just find a friend and just like compete in Balloon Fight or just take turns in Balloon Trip or even do it by yourself. Like either way is perfectly fine. I think the game does hold up pretty well. Balloon Fight is still a lot of fun today, I think.
Yeah, yeah, I'd agree.
Now then,